The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and our future. Blagan Flavin, happy Labor Day. Welcome to the stream. My name is Ron Checkett for the 2nd of September, 2024. We're playing the games of September 7th, 1988 today. It is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers have fallen to third. The Jays won the opener of this series, which you saw late last week on this channel. They played yesterday. They technically played a game day yesterday, and I think Toronto won. So the Blue Jays have passed. Thank you. The Blue Jays have passed Detroit, and now they're the ones that directly trail the Boston Red Sox for first place in the American League East. And it's a very good pitching matchup today in Detroit. It will be Dave Stieb, who was 16-2 on the replay with an earned run average of 228, I believe I saw, versus Frank Tanana, who has been very good as the number 2 starter for the Tigers. Tigers desperately need this one. The Blue Jays have got their sights set on the Red Sox and starting their dynasty a year earlier. So on this Labor Day Monday, it's the Blue Jays and the Tigers. It's yours right now. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1988. Today from Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, it will be the Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, and wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Hello, Ben. How are you? And it will be Frank Tanana on this cool, windy day in Detroit. 67 degrees, clear skies, and winds blowing in from left center at 14. Tanana is making his 27th start. The 35-year-old veteran left-hander is 13-10. Yep, familiar grounds for a lot of Tiger fans. Tanana 13-10 with a 3.84 ERA. He is a fastball pitcher that throws at about 85. And a standard pitcher. His second start against the Blue Jays, he actually fanned 10 in a 4-hit win. In his only start against them coming in. His last start was September 2nd, which would be today in real life, against Milwaukee. A 7-2 loss where he got absolutely Christmas trees, 6 2/3, 123 pitches, 13 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 4 home runs. So you get some whiplash there, too. A walk and a strikeout. Overall for Tanana, 185 innings, 194 hits, 89 runs, 79 of them earned, 20 homers, 51 walks, and 122 strikeouts. That shutout against the Jays came on June 17th. Just for the record. And here's how the Jays will line up for this one. It'll be Tony Fernandez leading off at short. Lloyd Mosby in center will bat second. Jesse Barfield in right will go third. George Bell cleans up in left. Pat Borders is your DH today. He'll bat fifth. Manuel Lee is at second. He'll go sixth. Freddie McGriff is at first. He'll bat seventh. Kelly Gruber at third will bat eighth. And it's Sal Butera behind the plate at 36 years old in his last game of the year, I think, batting ninth. And Tanana could give you 8 innings. He does pretty much have a rubber arm. So that's the setup for you. Again, a gorgeous day here, or night in Detroit. Wednesday night, September 7th, 1988. Tony Fernandez steps in at 287, 6 homers and 57 RBI. And this one starts a hard ground ball to Salazar, and he'll lead it. Defensively for the Tigers, they're going to charge him with an error. So he booted it. There's no Trammell, there's no Whittaker. Pat Sheridan is in left. He's a 4 and a 2 for the Tigers. Dwayne Murphy is a 6 and a 2 in center. Chet Lemon, by the way, I haven't read the sad article on Chet Lemon, but he is no longer able to walk or talk, which is so sad. It's just so sad. He's a 7 and an 8 in right. Tom Brookins is a 4 at third. Luis Salazar, who just booted that ball, is a 3 at short. Jim Whalewander, who can do anything but hit. He is fast and he's not a bad defender, is an 8 at second. Darrell Evans at first is a 4. Matt Noakes is a 4 and a 4 behind the plate. And Frank Tanana is a 7 on the mound with a .977 fielding percentage. Lloyd Mosby at 233, 4 homers, and 44 RBI. The pitch to Lloyd. There's a slow chopper down. Brookins in on the grass. Good throw to Whalewander on the bunt, and Mosby is retired. So Fernandez moves up to second, and there's 1 out. Toronto has played 1 more game than Detroit. This is game 140 for the Jays, so they have 22 left, including this one. The Tigers are 79 and 59. This is game 139, so they'll have 23 left, including this one. And that's enough math for you. Jesse Barfield at 238, 15 homers, and 47 RBI. Fernandez on second. The pitch is a ground ball to Whalewander in on the grass, a hard throw to Evans, and Jesse is retired. Now, I'll make that joke later. Here's George Bell at 266, 15 homers, and 102 RBI. So he's already exceeded his real life number by 5. Fernandez on third, 2 out here in the first. Struck him out. Tanana got him, and that'll do. No runs, no hits, and the error by Salazar doesn't end up hurting. And after half an inning here in Detroit hasn't batted yet, and Toronto did not score. So here is Dave Stieb. Stieb leads the American League in ERA at 228. He is 4th in wins with 16 and 12th in strikeouts and up with 156. So he has had a much better year in this replay than he did in real life, which is saying something because he had a pretty good year in real life. This is his 27th start. He is 16 and 2 with a 2.28 ERA. He also has 2 one-hitters on the year. Stieb is 31. He throws the fastball at 90 and is a ground ball pitcher. And I should hit this button first. This is his second start against the Tigers. He beat them, a 4-hitter, allowing 1 run. It was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 2. His last start came against the Rangers. Under 1 whip, yeah, he's had a pretty good year. He beat the Rangers 5 days ago, 5-3, 6 2/3, 95 pitches, 4 hits, a run it was earned, and 5 strikeouts. On August 11th, he hit the Yankees 7-0. On June 25th, he beat these Tigers 2-1 and struck out. Well, we gave you the rest of those numbers. So Stieb has had a Cy Young year, 205 2/3, 130 pitches or hits allowed, 56 runs, 52 earned, 17 homers. He's walked 59 and struck out 156. For the Tigers, this is not an all-star lineup. Pat Sheridan leads off in left. Luis Salazar at short will bat second. Freddie Lynn is over from Baltimore and will be the DH. He'll go third. Matt Noakes cleans up behind the plate. Darrell Evans at first will bat fifth. Chet Lemon in right will go sixth. Dwayne Murphy is in center. He'll bat seventh. Tom Brookins at third will go eighth. Jim Whalewander at second will bat ninth. And Stieb can throw about eighth. And yep, the whip is .919. That is phenomenal. His real life whip that year was 1138, which is still pretty good. Defensively for Toronto, George Bell a 4 and a 4 in left. Lloyd Mosby a 4 and a 2 in center. Jesse Barfield a 7 and a 9 in right. Kelly Gruber is an 8 at third. Tony Fernandez a 10 at short. Manuel Lee a 7 at second. Fred McGriff is a 6 at first. That's a very good infield. Sal Butera a 5 and a 5 behind the plate. And Dave Stieb is a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Pat Sheridan stepping in at 255, 13 homers, and 55 RBI. Stieb starts his effort, and that's a base hit, so no no-hitter to lose in the ninth on this one. Barfield cuts it off and throws it in. So the Tigers have the first hit of the ball game, and that'll bring up Luis Salazar, hitting 242, 3 homers, and 35 RBI. And so Ben, who I'm sure is rooting for the Tigers, is laughing to himself that he had the broadcaster's jinx already. Yeah, oh, Steve's got a whip under one. Pitch to Salazar. Louis into center field over Lee, and that's another hit. As always, Sheridan's going to try for third. Mosby should just throw this in. He's got almost no chance to get him. Fernandez cuts off the throw, and the Tigers have runners on the corners and nobody out. For Fred Lynn. Big Dave, how are you? Freddie Lynn at 0-42 since coming over from Baltimore. However, that one hit was a homer, and he's driven in 4. Big Ben, by the way, gives me a smiley face for that. But yet you trust me to manage the Tigers. You should know better. A throw to first, and Salazar is back. All right, I'll do it. So there goes Salazar. Butera throws down to Steve, who cuts it off and throws to second, and Salazar has his 4th steal. So we weren't doing the double steal, but the Tigers now have 2 in scoring position and nobody out. And oh, by the way, it's a 1-strike count to Lynn. I had a 96% chance of being right, sending Sheridan to third. I got to install the new patch. I will say this. I mean, it's September, and Dave Cook has released about 20 patches for this game this year. My good friend Mark Shaw lets me know when they are there, and I usually grab them. Don't always install them because I forget, but I'm there. And so I thank Mark Shaw, who, if you're not following on Facebook and the Action PC groups, posts great stadium shots. I have them, and I should look through them to see what I'm going to use for next season. So 1-strike count to Lynn is outside, ball 1. So Steve off to a slow start. The 1-1. That's in there. Strike 2. A 1-1 curve at the knees, and Steve is ahead in the count. Nobody out. Noakes on deck. Steve, deep breath on this cool, windy night here in Detroit. Got him. Nope, low and away. I thought I heard the strike 3. So Lynn laid off that pitch, and the count is 2-2. How you doing, Jamie? I am well. Hopefully you are too. The 2-2 from Steve. Struck him out. There you go. Fastball in there at the knees. 1 out for Noakes. Matt is at 280, 15 homers, and 52 RBI. And Noakes draws the walk, so the bases are now loaded. A first base open walk for Darrell Evans, hitting 232, 19 homers, and 50 RBI. Ben, wherever he's watching, is rubbing his fingers together like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, going, "Excellent." Pitch to Evans. Walked home a run. So Sheridan will score 1-0. A 3-0 count. Steve has walked 2 here in the inning and struck out 1. West Central Wisconsin. So 1 out for Lemon. Chet at 251, 21 homers and 79 RBI. So Salazar on third, Noakes on second, Evans on first. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Tigers. Pitch to Lemon, struck him out. So Steve has thrown 26 pitches here in the first. A 2-2 cutter got him swinging. 2 out for Dwayne Murphy, hitting .313, a home run, and 10 RBI. Steve winds and fires, and Murphy walks home a run. Salazar will score, and Steve has walked 3 here in the inning. He has walked 3 and struck out 2, and the Tigers go up 2-0. They're loaded for Tom Brookins, hitting .263, 7 homers, and 37 RBI. Steve's whip for the inning is 7.5, and it's still not above 1 for the replay. Pitch to Brookins, ground ball, pass Fernandez for a base hit. Noakes is going to score. Evans will round third and try to score on George Bell's arm. The throw goes in the infield, and the Tigers are up 4-0 here in the first. So here's Jim Whalewander hitting .114 with 8 RBI. And so Dave Steve doing the curly-haired girl impression. When she was good, she was very, very good. And when she was bad, she was horrid. Pitch to Whalewander. There's a slow chopper to Lee. Manny's got it, throws to McGriff. And if you're a Blue Jay fan, it's finally over. Tigers get 4 runs on 3 hits and 3 walks. They'll leave on 2. And after 1 here at Tiger Stadium, Detroit 4, Toronto nothing. So Borders, Lee, and McGriff to face Tanana here in the second. Steve threw 35 pitches in the first. Borders at .257, 2 homers, and 11 RBI. Pitch to Pat. There's a ground ball to Tanana, first base side of the rubber. Over to Evans, 1 out. For Manny Lee, hitting .274, 2 homers, and 31 RBI. Reds and Dodgers for you on Wednesday. And we'll have a third stream this week. I'm just not sure if it's Thursday or Friday yet. Slow chopper to Evans. Darrell takes it to the bag. 2 out. So hopefully your Labor Day is going well and you're having a relaxing time, unless you're a Blue Jay fan here. Fred McGriff at .282, 28 homers, and 80 RBI with 2 out here in the second. Struck him out. Tanana with a wry smile. Got him looking on an 0-2 fastball. Blue Jays go in order at after an inning and a half here at Tiger Stadium. Detroit 4, Toronto nothing. So Dave Stieb, who gave up an uncharacteristic 4 runs in the first, has thrown 35 pitches to his opening 9. All the runs are earned. An inning, 3 hits. But more surprisingly, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Sheridan single to start the game. Popped up right side. That's a rainmaker on this clear night. Lee is there, 1 out. For Luis Salazar, who singled and stole a base. And scored. Left field, crowd likes it. Back goes Bell, and Salazar likes it. That's in the upper deck. That ball was crushed. Oh my goodness. That's up in the second deck, and it's 5-0 Tigers. 430 feet. NASA had to give flight clearance for that one. My goodness. You don't get many souvenirs up in that part of the ballpark. Wouldn't you know it? Somebody from Lansing made the catch. Got himself a souvenir. Like the old AT&T commercial, they're reaching out and touching someone. In this case, Dave Stieb has been touched so much, He's singing the vinyl songs. I touch myself. Freddie McLean has struck out his first time up. And he got hit. And Lynn and Steve kind of look at each other not so glowingly. And for Toronto, the wheels might have come off here already in the second inning. So here's Matt Noakes, who walked and scored in the first. Nah, no intent there. Noakes takes a moment to tie his cleats just in case he's going to run out there and have a word and maybe a Strohs with Steve after this at-bat. Here's the pitch. Noakes ground ball to Fernandez, might be two. Lee for one, McGriff for two. And after the home run, that was it. The solo shot from Salazar, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the third here at Tiger Stadium. Detroit 5, Toronto nothing. So Tanana digs in. It'll be Gruber, Butera, and Tony Fernandez. Kelly at 328, 16 homers and 71 RBI. Pitch to Gruber. Kelly pops it up. Whale Wander awaits it. 1 out. For Sal Butera hitting .214 and 3 RBI. Don't think Steve and Lynn will be going to the Ambassador Bridge after this, do you? Pitch to Butera. There's a fly ball to the left. Sheridan is there. Pat makes the catch, 2 out. Tony Fernandez is 0 for 1. Tanana opening 9, 37 pitches, 9 batters, 2 2/3, and 2 strikeouts. Popped up, left side. Brookins has it, and that'll take care of business. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the third here in Detroit. Tigers 5, Jays nothing. So Evans, Lemon, and Murphy to face Steve here in the third. Darrell walked home a run, and then would score himself. Ground ball to Lee. Manny throws to first. 1 out. Many thanks to Swedish Jeff on the Digital Dice Facebook group for writing up a summary of not only this, but Dave Gardner's 79 season. I didn't realize he went back on. We did a Patreon stream last night where we were showing off Cold Snap, which was fun. The Canadian football game from Played Games. Lemon has struck out his first time up. My goodness, did he have an instant classic, Mr. Gardner, between Oakland and Cleveland. And if you're a Browns fan, you don't want to know. Pitch to Lemon. There's a fly ball to left, and that's gone. That hit the facing there of the second deck and bounced back on the field. And Lemon has hit a home run. It's 6-0 Detroit on Chet's 22nd of the year. That hit with such force you can hear the doink off the metal. So the Tigers are exercising some frustration out here this afternoon. Then they lead this one 6-0 with 1 out in the third. Dwayne Murphy tightens his shoes. Just make sure the umpire doesn't miss it. Pitch to Murph. Up the middle. Lee's got it. Throws to McGriff for the out. So 2 out for Tom Brookins. Tom punched in 2 runs with a single in the first. 6-0 Tigers. 2 outs here in the third. Steve's pitch. Ground ball to Lee. And this verse will be the same as the last. And that will take care of business. However, solo homer from Chet Lemon. The lone hit, and after 3, they're trying to get that whip over 1. It's Detroit 6, Toronto nothing. So Mosby, Barfield, and Bell to face Tanana here in the fourth. Lloyd bunted his first time up. Popped up, right side, Whale Wander 1 out. For Jesse Barfield is 0 for 1. Tanana's pitch. Line drive. Brookins is there. 2 out. Right now, everything's going Detroit's way. George Bell struck out his first time up. Tanana winds and deals. Struck him out. Bell looked at a 2-2 curveball for strike 3. So Tanana is throwing bullets out there after 3.5. Tigers 6, Jays nothing. So here we go. Here are the standings. Toronto has a half-game lead over Detroit and is a game and a half behind Boston, whose magic number on this September 7th is 23. Surprisingly enough, so is Minnesota's. It's a 2-game lead over Kansas City, and Oakland, despite a 78-61 record, which wouldn't give them any of the divisional leads. Minnesota has the best record in baseball, 2 games up on the Royals. In the National League, the Mets are printing playoff tickets again. They have a 12.5 game lead over the Phils. And the Reds and Dodgers, who you'll see Wednesday, are 2.5 apart. So the Mets' magic number is 13, although nobody in the National League East has been eliminated formally yet. Atlanta has been away with in the West. The Reds' magic number is 23. The Red Sox magic number is 23, and Minnesota's magic number is 23. Tigers munching on the Jays like they're a bag of potato chips. As Jim Wander steps in 0 for 1. Just remember that no one eats just one. Steve starts the 4th. Fly ball to shallow left. Bell rides the Schwinn. 1 out. Pat Sheridan is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored. You looked at his lineup for Detroit and went, where are they going to get it from? Well, they got it. Opening 18 for Steve is a nightmare. 63 pitches, 3 1/3, 5 hits, 2 solo homers, Salazar and Lemon. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. Sheridan has singled and scored. He's 1 for 2. Left center, Mosby drifts back. It's a big park. That's off the wall. And Sheridan's into second. No, he's going to third. He did not stop and hit his 5th triple of the year. He's into third standing. Well, it says it's 440 to center. I had read it. It was really 425. It's still a big ballpark. Luis Salazar has singled and homered. Hit his 4th and has driven in 36. 6-0 Detroit. Pitch to Salazar. Struck him out. That's 3 for Steve. A full count fastball got him looking. 2 out for Freddie Lynn, who has struck out and been hit by a pitch. Lynn and Steve exchange dirty looks. Steve goes home. Fly ball to right. Barfield will make the catch, and that'll do. We've played 4. It's the first inning that the Tigers haven't scored. They get a hit, and they've left on 3. And after 4, it is Detroit 6, Toronto nothing. So Borders, Lee, and McGriff to face Tanana here in the 5th. Pitch to Borders. Pat's 0 for 1. Ground ball to Salazar, over to Evans, and Pat is 0 for 2. So here's Manuel Lee. He's 0 for 1. Tanana's pitch. Ground ball to Brookins. Tom makes a fantastic play. Over to Evans. 2 out. Right now, everything is coming up roses for Detroit. Here is Fred McGriff. He struck out his first time up. Deep breath for Tanana. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Wander. And after 5, it's all bagels for Toronto. On this cool Labor Day in Burlington, Vermont, it's the Tigers 6, the Jays nothing. So the story in this one isn't necessarily on the recap. 6 runs, 6 hits, an error for the Tigers. And a whole bunch of bagels for Toronto in the first. If you joined us late, Darrell Evans walked home Pat Sheridan to make it 1-0. And then Dwayne Murphy walked home Luis Salazar to make it 2-0. Then Tom Brookins, a 2-run single to make it 4-0. Then in the second, Luis Salazar put one in the upper deck in left center. I mean, that was a shot and a half to make it 5-0, his 4th of the year. And then Chet Lemon, his 22nd of the year, in the third to make it 6-0. Dave Stieb has had a devilish game. 4 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, the 2 homers. He has walked 3 and struck out 3, and Frank Tanana has struck out 3 through 5, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So Noakes, Evans, and Lemon to face Stieb, who continues to be pounded here in the 5th. Matt walked and grounded into a double play. He's also scored a run. He's 0 for 1. Walked him. 4th walk allowed by Stieb. Full count changeup missed low and in. Darrell Evans walked home a run in the first and scored later. He's 0 for 1. Fly ball to right. Barfield by the pen in right field makes the catch, and Noakes goes back to first. Lemon hit a solo homer, his 22nd of the year. He's now driven in 80. Stieb winds and fires. Struck him out. That's 4 for Stieb. He took something off a changeup. Lemon was looking fastball. And looked more like Liz than Chet there. 2 out for Dwayne Murphy, who was walked and driven in a run. Murph popped up. Butera, not a lot of room here at Tiger Stadium. Behind, takes off the mask. And dropped it. He had it and dropped it. Again, there's not a lot of room here. It has been often said that you could have stood in the batter's box and listened to Ernie Harwell on WJR and heard him from the press box. Butera dropped the pop-up. Nothing has gone right. That's technically an error. And a 1-2 count to Dwayne Murphy. Stieb is already incensed enough. That's in the left field, and that's going to drop in front of Bell. And so Noakes is going to third. Bell throws it to Gruber, and Noakes is in there. So runners on the corners, 2 out for Brookins. Tom is 1 for 2. He had a 2-run single in the first. Ben is so excited about the way that the Tigers are manhandling the Blue Jays that he's fallen silent in the giddiness of the moment. Pitch to Brookins. Ground ball to Gruber. Kelly throws to Lee, and that will take care of business here in the 5th. No runs for the Tigers. A hit. The error ends up not hurting, and the Tigers have left on 5. We go to the 6th. Frank Tanana starting to get a little nervous out there. 6-0 Detroit. So Gruber, Butera, and Fernandez. And Kelly is 0 for 1. Tanana starts the inning. Struck him out. That's 4. Crowd now roaring every time somebody swings and misses. So a 1-2 fastball was changed. 1 out for Butera, who was 0 for 1. Tanana in a good rhythm. Popped up left side. In-run Sheridan, 2 out. So 18 batters for Tanana. 5 2/3. 65 pitches and 4 strikeouts. Tony Fernandez is 0 for 2. Tanana deals. Ground ball to Evans. Takes it to the bag. And Tanana 6 up, 6 down. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And that'll do it for Dave Stieb. It's Mark Eichhorn coming in. So now the story is Mr. Tanana. Eichhorn is 28 years old. Dave Stieb is down there rearranging lockers in the locker room with his fist. Eichhorn is a fastball pitcher, 87, and a ground ball plus pitcher. 3-0 on the replay, his 31st appearance, and he has an earned run average of 410. He last pitched on the 4th, so 3 days ago against Texas in a 5-4 win. Inning in a third, 31 pitches, 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout. 52 2/3 for Eichhorn, 62 hits. 26 runs, 24 earned. He's allowed 3 homers. He's walked 18 and struck out 24. Against the Tigers, his 3rd appearance, 4 innings, 5 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 1. So here's Whale Wander, who is 0 for 2. Eichhorn starts the 6th. Ground ball to Fernandez. Good throw by Tony over to McGriff, and that is 1 out. So here's Pat Sheridan. Pat tripled his last time up. He single, triple, 2 for 3 with a run scored. Ground ball. Lee in on the grass over to McGriff for the out, and Sheridan's retired 2 away. For Luis Salazar, who homered in the 2nd. He is 2 for 3. He has singled. He has scored twice and struck out. Eichhorn's pitch. Slow ground ball in the hole, and that's a base hit for the Tigers. So that is the 8th hit for Detroit, and Salazar's 3rd on the day. He's not going to make you forget Alan Trammell, but he has been productive in this one. Here's Freddie Lynn. Freddie is 0 for 2 and has struck out once. And a balk because it's 1988. So Salazar to 2nd. 2 out for Lynn. I was kind of glad he doesn't have Dave Stieb to look at anymore. After Salazar's homer, he plunked Freddie Lynn. Ball 4. So Lynn draws the free pass on 4 pitches. And so 2 out and 2 on for Matt Noakes, who has walked twice, scored once, and is 0 for 1. Ground ball to Gruber. Over to McGriff, and that'll do it. So the Tigers get 2 on and do not score. They get a hit, and that's it. After 6 here at Tiger Stadium, Detroit 6, Toronto nothing. Think I should pull Tanana yet? Here's Mosby. Lloyd is 0 for 1. Tanana starts the 7th. Slow ground ball to Salazar. Louis has it. Throws to Evans. 1 out. Waiting to see if Ben would have a heart attack with me saying that. Jesse Barfield is 0 for 2. Tanana deals. Struck him out. That's 5. A 1-2 fastball. Got him looking. So here's George Bell. He has struck out twice. Tanana just taking a deep breath now every time he gets a batter out. He winds and deals, and there it goes. 6 2/3, a no-hit ball by Frank Tanana as George Bell breaks it up with a 2-out single here in the 7th. What an effort from Tanana. When the Tigers desperately needed it. So here's Pat Borders. He's 0 for 2. There's a ground ball left side. That's a base hit. Sheridan throws it back in. So 1st and 2nd, 2 out for Lee. Manny is 0 for 2. Tanana deals. Balked him. Oof. And now you kind of have to wonder how much longer you're going to leave him in. A full count fastball missed inside. And you kind of wonder, is this Canadian baseball A? Well, you almost missed a no-hitter. You kind of have to wonder if Tanana's concentration just kind of went away after the no-hitter did. So McGriff is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch to McGriff. Slow chopper to Brookins. Who's he going to go? He's going to go to first. McGriff is out. Stretch time 6-0 Tigers. Well, the shutout was preserved. Blue Jays did get their first 2 hits of the ball game and could not score. That's right. You just got here, and I'm taking a break. Darrell Evans is 0 for 2, a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. Gardner's still recovering from that cardiac game he did last night between the Raiders and Browns. That's a base hit into center field. And that's the 9th hit for Detroit. Lemon homered and has struck out twice. He's 1 for 3. Fly ball, shallow right. Barfield coming in, makes the catch. And Evans goes back to first. Well, now that the no-hitter is over, we can tell you that Toronto leads the season series 5-4. And assuming Detroit wins this, with 3 games to go against each other, that they will be at 5-5. I believe that the final games of this season series will be in Toronto. Detroit has taken the 4 of 6 here, and about to do 5 of 7 unless something crazy happens here. Dwayne Murphy is 1 for 2. He is singled, driven in a run and walked. Pitch to Murph. Fly ball, left field. Bell comes in, makes the catch, and Evans goes back to first. So 2 out for Tom Brookins, who had that 2-run single in the first. He's 1 for 3. Walked him. So remember, the Tigers have a game in hand on the Jays. Here's Whale Wander. Jim is 0 for 3. First and second, 2 out here in the 7th. Butera and Eichhorn have a word. Whale Wander stands there, swings, ground ball to first. McGriff has it, underhands it to Eichhorn, and that'll do it in the 7th. Tigers, no runs, a hit. They leave on 2. They've left on 9. But when you're up 6-0, it really doesn't matter. So Gruber, Butera, and Fernandez are scheduled to face Tanana here in the 8th. Frank 6 outs away from his 14th win of the year. Gruber is 0 for 2. Ground ball to Brookins. Long throw to first for the out. So 1 out. We'll see what they do with Butera, although the batting average here isn't too bad. He is 0 for 2 today. Tanana deals. He stays in the game, grounds 1 in the right for a base hit. So that's the 3rd Blue Jay hit. Opening 27 for Tanana, 111 pitches. 7 in the 3rd, 3 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Tony Fernandez is 0 for 3, and they're not going to let Tanana pitch much longer, I wouldn't think. Pitch to Tony. Fly ball left field. Sheridan by the pen in left field makes the catch, and Butera goes back to first. How you doing? Happy Labor Day. Lloyd Mosby is 0 for 2. That cold snap was fun. I'd forgotten about Conridge Holiday, or Holloway. We need to get a stream with Pinball Clemens in there. Pitch to Mosby. Ball 4. Well, I think that's going to do it for Tanana. Yep. That'll do. It'll be... I don't want to use Henneman. I'm going to go with Eric King. So Tanana gets a pretty good hand as he departs here with 2 out in the 8th. Here comes Eric King. Eric 1-4 with a 5.21 ERA. 15th or 16th appearance. He's got one more start. 24 years old. Fastball at 91. And a fly ball pitcher pitched a couple days ago. So pitched Labor Day against the Jays in a 4-2 loss, which we did. 2 innings, 35 pitches, a hit, an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout. Overall for Eric, 38 innings, 38 hits, 26 runs, 22 earned, a home run. He's walked 19 and struck out 20. Jesse Barfield's 0 for 3. Yeah, I'm looking to see the 49 quick decks of that. And Mr. Gus picked up Mr. Cold Snap. Mr. Barfield's 0 for 3 with a K. First and second, Jesse swings. That's into center field. Butera really doesn't have a heck of a lot of speed, but Murphy's arm is terrible. And so Butera scores without a throw, and the Jays get on the board to make it 6-1. George Bell is 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out twice. So 6-1 now, 2 out in the 8th. King deals. Bell to Will Wander, who'll make the catch, and that'll do. So Tony Castillo coming in to pitch for Toronto. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Tiger Stadium. We'll do it the Canadian way. Detroit 6, Toronto 1. Tony Castillo is a lefty. He is 25 years old. He is a fastball pitcher at 91 and a ground ball pitcher. Making his 6th appearance on the replay, he is 1-0 with a 1.29 ERA. He last pitched on the 3rd, so 4 days ago, in a 3-1 loss to the Rangers. He went 1 inning and threw 7 pitches. That's pretty efficient. 7 innings, 2 hits, a 1 run. That home run came against Milwaukee on August 29. He has walked 2 and struck out 4. So it'll be Sheridan, Salazar, and Lynn here in the 8th. Pat is 2 for 4. He has singled, tripled, and scored. Did you get any seasons to go with what comes in the box? Pitch to Sheridan. Struck him out. An 0-2 curveball, 1 out. For Salazar, Louis is 3 for 4. He's had himself a day. A solo homer and 2 singles. Scored twice, stole a base, and struck out once. Castillo deals. That's a ground ball left side for a base hit. So Salazar finds himself with a 4-hit day. How about that? Here's Freddie Lynn. He has walked, struck out, been hit by a pitch, and is 0 for 2. 68. You have it for quick decks. Oh, okay. Now, they weren't playing against each other at that point, right? It was just West versus West and East versus East, except for the Grey Cup. Pitch to Lynn. Struck him out. Freddie has been not all that in a bag of chips since coming over from the Orioles. He's hitting .037. Swung on an 0-2 curveball, 2 out for Noakes. Matty is 0 for 2. He has walked twice, grounded into a double play, and scored. Castillo's pitch popped up left side. A little more than a pop-up. Bell is there, and they'll take care of business. We go to the 9th here in Detroit. Tigers 6, Toronto 1. So the Jays 5 to tie, 6 for me to pull my 3 hairs out. It'll be Borders, Lee, and McGriff to face Eric King. Pat is 1 for 3 with a single. And Rance Mullenix will technically pinch hit. Mullenix, 282, 13 homers, and 61 RBI. Walked. So the Blue Jays start the ninth with a walk, a full count. Fastball outside. Here's Lee, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. And Rick Leach, a hero in Detroit, as a matter of fact. Will pinch hit. As a pinch hitter, 333 with an RBI. Overall, 298, no homers, and 21 RBI. It'll be the first time near Ann Arbor that Rick Leach won't be cheered for. Pitch from King. Fly ball to shallow right. Lemon coming in, rides a Schwinn, makes the catch, and now they'll cheer. Has it for the out. One away from McGriff, who's 0 for 3 with a K. King's pitch. Struck him out. Last chance saloon now for Toronto. A 1-2 fastball swung out and missed. So everybody here at Tiger Stadium rises as one. Kelly Gruber is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Eric King trying to finish the wonderful job by Frank Tanana. Here it comes, and Gruber gets hit. That wasn't intentional. You're trying to win the ball game. So Gruber got plunked on the arm. And so let's see what they do with Sal Butera, who is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. So Mullenix on second, Gruber on first. 2 out, top of the ninth. Tigers looking for win number 80. Butera stays in the game. Ground ball to Whale Wander. He'll go to Salazar at second, and it's a 6-1 win for Detroit. So in 3 hours and 16 fake minutes, the Tigers get an easy win. 6 runs, 10 hits, an error. They moved to 80 and 59. They left on 10. The Jays fall to 80 and 60. A run on 4 hits and an error. And I think it's safe to say that when you take a no-hitter into the 7th inning, that Frank Tanana is going to be your digital dice MVP. 14 and 10 now on the year. 7 2/3, 3 hits. The run was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5. Dave Stieb, 5 innings. He falls to 16 and 3. 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned. The 2 homers. Lemon and Salazar. He walked 4 and struck out 4. Then Eichhorn and Castillo closed it down in the pen. Eric King got the last 4 outs. An inning and a third, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. So the rest of this Wednesday now in baseball is Mark Gubicza overtakes Steve for the ERA crown. So they have flip-flopped in the standings. The Tigers are now a game and a half back of the Red Sox. Montreal beats Pittsburgh 6-3. They pound out 16 hits. Bryn Smith 10 and 10. Doug Drabeck 14 and 7. Fitzgerald 3 for 5. Mike had his first of the year and drove in 2. And if you belong to Dave Little's Sports Sims and Replays group on Facebook, you saw that World's Worst Gamer had Bryn Smith pitch 11 innings in relief. I think the computer did that. I don't think Sean did it. But yeah, 11 innings out of the pen in a 20-inning game. Bryn got his bag of Fritos that day. The Yankees beat the Indians 3-2. Neil Allen goes to 4 and 3. Nichols 2 and 2. Willie Upshaw hits his 11th for Cleveland, 1 for 1. Red Sox 9-4 winners over Baltimore. Bruce Hurst 15 and 10. Kurt Schilling, who was with the Red Sox up until a month ago or so, falls to 0 and 1. Larry Parrish 2 for 4, hits his 8th and drives in 2. The Twins lose at home to Seattle. 8-5. Moore goes to 14 and 10. Alan Anderson starting to struggle a bit. 14 and 5. Randy Bush 2 for 4, hits his 14th and drives in 2. Cardinals shut out Philadelphia 4-0. Joe McGrain goes to 9 and 7. Don Carmen 5 and 12. Lindemann 1 for 3, hits his second, drives in 2 of the 4 Cardinal runs. Texas beats Oakland 10-7. Guzman 10 and 13. Nelson 3 and 7. Ruben Sierra hits 2 home runs. He now has 18. He drives in 4. He goes 2 for 5. The Cubs hit 9th for Rafael Palmeiro. Cubs pound Ron Darling and company for 20 hits. They beat the Mets 11-2. Pico 5-5, Darling 11-8. Andre Dawson is 20th of the year, 3 for 5 and drives in 2. Milwaukee beats Chicago 1-0. Birkbeck 5-9. Jerry Royce goes to 9-10. Dan Plesac picks up his 27th save. Kansas City cuts the margin in the West to 1. They beat California 10-9. Steve Farr 6-4. Craig Minton 3-2. Kevin Seitzer 4 for 4 with a triple. Dodgers lose in 13 to Houston 4-3. Jeff Heathcock goes to 3-1. Jay Howell 3-3. Hamilton 2 for 3, hits 2 homers. He now has 10 and drives in 3. In 10 innings, Cincinnati beats San Diego 8-7. Tony Gwynn hits 2 homers. He now has 9. He drove in 4, goes 3 for 4. The Reds have 20 hits in the ballgame. Frank Williams goes to 8-5. Lance McCullers goes to 6-9. And last but not least, Tom Glavine and the Braves beat the Giants 4-3. Glavine is 8-13. Brantley is 0-1. And Thomas 3 for 4, a double, and 2 stolen bases. And that will take care of business here on Labor Day. When we're with you Wednesday, it'll be the Reds and the Dodgers. Presumably from Los Angeles, I believe. Yep. And so, we will see, well, you'll see me tomorrow night, I believe, on Mike and the Trucks channel, as we're going to do some family football to preview the 2024 NFL season. And so that is Wednesday, or that's Wednesday's game, the Reds and the Dodgers. And then I think we have another doubleheader for you. Why did I take Oakland and Kansas City? Because I wanted to get the Red Sox on and Detroit on. And I think we're going to swap that game out. So the doubleheader later this week will be the Red Sox and the Indians, followed by the Royals and the A's. I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you the next time. So long, everybody.